If you guys haven't noticed yet, I am angry and I am passionate about this because my name's Chris Boy. I live in a regional city and I'm going to lose my job in 2024. Dear my fellow Australians, my name's Chris. I'm a food delivery driver. I contract to Doordash and Uber Eats as side hustles to make a little bit of extra money for myself. And today I'm here to inform you that half of you who currently get your food delivered to your doorstep will not be able to do that in 2024, and the other half of you are going to be paying double, if not more, for your food to be delivered because of legislations the Australian government's doing. So half of you will not be able to get your McDonald's delivered to you anymore, and the other half of you will be paying up to $38 for a large Big Mac meal delivered. Would you pay $38 for a large Big Mac meal delivered from the local Macca's? I don't think so. I don't think many Australians can really afford that. It's outside of the budget. But why is this happening? Who is responsible for paying $38 for a large Big Mac meal? That's the guys, like, that is the bill that you'll be paying for it, and the rest of yous won't even be able to get a single cheeseburger delivered. And guys, I'm not just talking about McDonald's, I'm talking about all your favorite food that you get through your favorite food delivery platforms, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Menulog, you name it, any of the platforms doing that kind of stuff. Come 2024, half of you may not be able to do that anymore, and the other half will be paying up to double, if not more, from what it costs from in the store to get it yourself. Costs are set to rise up to 85% for food delivery from what they currently are, which are already pretty expensive. If you ordered your Uber Eats before, you're like, oh yeah, this costs like a lot more than in the restaurant, but you know what? I'll pay for that because it gets delivered and blah, 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 so on and so forth. But it's going to go up to 85% more than what you're currently paying. So, Chriso, what is this? What are you talking about? Where's this all coming from? So this is the Closing the Loopholes bill. You might have heard it in the media, but if you're like most Australians, you're like, I don't understand what this is. I don't really care what this is. But now I'm giving you a reason to care because your Big Mac meals are about to double on delivery. So pay attention. Now it's time to care. All right? I'm giving you the reason. Your food's going up in price. So tune in. So why is this bill coming through? And is a tale as old as time? It is disconnected boomer politicians saying, let's try and change things because we just want change to happen. Now, the politician in charge and driving this change, his name is Tony Burke. He's a Minister for Industrial Relations across Australia. And what he's done, he has done some cool stuff in the past. He's done huge reforms around transport work, things for Qantas and stuff like that, getting Qantas workers paid more, which is all well and good. For a company that employs people on full-time bases, so it increases working rights and all that kind of stuff. So he's done that kind of good stuff in the past. But where he's kind of dabbled into now on gig delivery driving, so your Uber Eats driver, your DoorDash driver, and let's not forget your Menulog drivers, they are all on contracts, guys. So they're not employees of the companies, they're independent contractors. So they get paid just a set rate to drive X kilometers to pick up your food and then drop it off to you. So they're not employees, they don't get overtimes, they don't get bonuses, they don't get superannuation or anything like that. What they get is a lump sum as a contractor. Anyone who's worked in building and construction, you're like, okay, cool, yeah, I've worked as a contractor, I just get a lump sum for the work that I do. So that's what your food delivery drivers get. They get a lump sum. Now, where Tony Burke's done all that work for transport staff and for Qantas, they've all been employees of a company, not contractors of a company. So all these gig delivery companies that are in Australia, and it's not just food delivery, guys, this is also rideshare stuff, so your Uber ride-arounds and all that kind of thing, DD and so on and so forth. They are all contractors, they're all gig workers is what we call them. So all these gig jobs were never designed to be full-time roles, never designed to be full-time employment. They were designed just to be contracting, earn a little bit of money on the side as a side hustle, or to fill in some gaps between work, or if you study at university. But now you've got Tony Burke coming in with his Closing the Loopholes bill, where he's trying to bundle all us contract workers in like we're employees. And he's even coined the phrase employee-like for us. We're not employee-like, we're contractors. So when you try to bundle us in and then create legislation around it to be like, it's like, how can we fit this square peg into this round hole? contractors, and we want to like apply like legislation to them like they're employees. How can we make this work? Never designed for us to be employees of these companies. And why most of us signed up to these gigs was because we did not want to be employees. We want to work as contractors. We want to be our own bosses, if you look at it that way, by being able to pick when and where we work, and then accept what offers we want coming through. As a driver, I get an offer pop up on the screen. I look at it and I say, cool, them kilometers, that pay, that distance, that area, do I want to take it or not? And I can decline as many as I want or accept as many as I want. There's no penalty for me for declining orders. So that's the freedom and flexibility. I don't get calls from these companies saying, hey, Chris, can you come work these hours? Don't get that. I just choose not to log on, or I choose to log on when I want to log on. But this politician, Tony Burke, is so disconnected from the way that this industry works. He is so disconnected from gig delivery drivers. He's so used to just dealing with unions, listening to unions. In fact, his entire career into politics, which launched him to the roles that he's in right now, he was working with unions all the way through until he entered as a politician. So now he's just answering favors to all of his union mates, and they're like, hey, Tony, yeah, now that you're like at the top, can you do this for us? Can you do that for us? Can we change this? And he's like, yeah, mate, I gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha. That's what he's doing right now, and it is ridiculous. He does not understand how the gig industry works. His changes will directly lead to all regional towns and cities having no food delivery services anymore, because the companies will cease operations, and tens of thousands of gig delivery workers in them regions being terminated and not having the opportunity to work a side hustle anymore. For those that remain that live in city areas, for the customers, they'll be paying up to 85% more for their food on top of what it already costs, which is already expensive. And the drivers, they will be fighting over shifts available if MP Tony Burke gets his way with his closing the loopholes bill, which is an absolute farce, and he is screwing the industry, and I'll explain why further now. So the high level change this disconnected politician is doing is classing gig workers as employee-like, and then allowing employee-like people to go to Fair Work to sort out any grievances. So if there's an issue, they can be like, okay, you as employee-like, let's try and match it up with traditional employees and see if there's anything it matches up with. And then if it does match up with stuff and Fair Work approves it, then that rule will get applied across the entire gig industry. So what he's doing there is he's circumventing politics. So instead of writing legislation for gig workers, he's kicking the can across to Fair Work. So he's dropping his duties as a politician. He's throwing his hands up in there and he's like, no, I'm not touching it, not doing it, no. And he's kicking the can across to Fair Work. So Fair Work can take a claim in from anyone, whether it be a gig delivery driver, a lobbyist who doesn't even drive in the industry, or a union who has different interests than what the contractors may have. And that interest is collecting union fees, of course. So the unions want that open up. So Tony Burke has called in all the favors from his union mates to allow the unions to go directly to Fair Work to be able to write and legislate across rules that apply across the entire industry without politics being involved. Now, this is lazy politics. This is a lazy politician who has just pretty much circumvented the voters, the people of Australia, who would say, I would vote for this, I would not vote for this. My elected officials should be able to represent me on this. Circumvented the entire thing, put it across to Fair Work, and then created us as a subclass of workers called employee-like to allow changes to go widespread across the industry without any of us having a say or vote, mostly coming across from unions and lobbyists. If you guys haven't noticed yet, I am angry and I am passionate about this because my name's Chris Boy. I live in a regional city and I'm going to lose my job in 2024. This politician, Tony Burke, he's not dumb. He's smart at what he's doing. He's putting all the work for other people to do, so he doesn't need to do anything, doesn't need to legislate, doesn't need to involve Parliament with anything aside from getting this initial bill through. It all goes to Fair Work afterwards. But he's incredibly clever and crafty because this bill is not just for gig delivery drivers and rideshare workers. No, it is jam-packed 600 pages of other changes. And in Australia, they pander a lot to, and guys, I'm going to sound like a pissed off millennial just whinging right now, but it panders a lot to the wealth of Australia when they put stuff in legislation and bills. And they're pandering across to the boomer generation and people retiring currently, because in this bill, they've got a huge chunk of it around aged care workers. And who benefits the most from aged care workers? That is the retiring generation right now, which has the greatest wealth in Australia and also has the strongest voting power in Australia. So he's pandering this bill across to them to vote it through, and it's at a detriment to us delivery drivers in the gig economy. Now, the boomers are the lowest users of gig apps. They're the lowest users of getting food delivered via Doordash and Uber Eats menu log. They're the lowest users for services like rideshare with Uber and stuff like that. So they're the most disconnected from it, but they have the most voting power to push this through, to change it, to detriment the industry, because they're not focusing on that bit. They're focusing on the big cherry being waved in front of them. Oh, aged care workers. Yes, we want aged care workers to be taken care of. So let's make sure that the aged care workers bill goes through. They're not calling it the closing the loopholes gap for gig delivery drivers. They're calling it the closing the loopholes gap for aged care workers, for the boomers. And the boomers will vote this through because they want to be taken care of, and I don't blame them. If I was in their shoes, I'd be like, yes, I want to be taken care of. I want the people taking care of me to be getting the best support from the government that they can. So he's jammed all these things. It's not just aged care workers. There's all this stuff. There's 600 pages worth of changes going through. But for gig delivery drivers, that was like a little focus there. They're like, yeah, let's disrupt it all. Let's put these American companies in a little box and make them pay wages. Well, it actually doesn't say make them pay wages. It means let Fair Work decide what should be applied or not. So nothing's legislated. So yeah, it's a workaround. He's figured out workarounds for his mates in the union to be able to come through and go straight to Fair Work and do widespread changes to gig work for me, which means I'm going to lose my job in 2024 because I don't live in a city. And for you, if you're not a driver right now, for you, it means if you're outside of a city, you will not be able to use these services anymore. You'll be restricted to just Domino's pizza delivery. Or if you live in the city, you're paying $38 for a large Big Mac meal delivered. Good for you. Are you going to use them services? No. And if no one's using the services in Australia because it's too expensive and it's only in the cities, what are these American companies going to do? They're going to uproot, they're going to leave back to America, and it's all over Red Rover. So guys, Tony Burke is destroying food being delivered in Australia. He's disconnected. He has no idea what he's doing. Guys, my round is over. What do you guys think? Leave it down below in the comments. Do you live in regional Australia? Do you live in a regional city? Because your gig is at risk because of this bill. If you live in the city and you're a gig delivery driver, congratulations. You might get some huge benefits coming through in 2024, but you'll be fighting for shifts. They cannot employ all of yous to the levels and rates that they want to try push through from the unions with this bill. Okay, if you're working 40 hours a week right now, congratulations, you might get 10 hours. But you know, in that 10 hours, we might get some sick pay and we might get, I don't know, $30 an hour. Guys, you can make $30 an hour in the city right now doing it as is. You make $40, you make $50. My highest out regional is I've made $75 an hour across the night. 3 hours straight, just $75 an hour. Absolutely slaying it. So it is possible. The people sitting there complaining, being like, it's impossible for gig workers to make money. Food delivery drivers are earning $10 an hour, and you hear someone doing that, I can guarantee you, man, like, they were sitting there with a camera. They're like, you over there. What's your name? It's like, my name is Vanush, delivery driver extraordinaire. And they're like, okay, Vanush, how much do you make per hour gig delivery driving? He's like, it's not per hour, it's per contract, and I've done pretty good. It's midday. I've made $150 so far. And they're like, no, Vanush, can you tell the camera that you make $10 an hour and we'll give you $50 and a McDonald's voucher? And he's like, okay, I make $10 per hour doing gig delivery driving. Thank you. My name is Vanush, Doordash driver extraordinaire. And Like guys, like you see the absurdity of it. Now for the drivers out there that are like, I cannot make more than $10, $12 per hour, guys, you're doing it wrong. You need to be multi-apping as a gig worker. If one app is not providing you the funding you need to have multiple apps. Okay, you need to adapt to the times. You're not working for a company, you're working for yourself, and you need to have as many streams coming through, as many options coming through, okay? Get with the times or quit. Go work for Domino's. Domino's is paying $38 per hour right now for a casual working weekends. So go work for Domino's if you don't want to adapt to the times. Guys, that's my rant. I am, lost for words with it all. I will probably keep updating you guys on this. I'll probably keep having rants about this. I don't have much of a choice. If I don't rant about this, if I don't make noise about this, I'm going to lose my job in 2024. You guys, many of you guys, half of you guys are going to lose your jobs in 2024 in Australia. Okay? That's how serious it is. As a customer, yeah, paying $38 for that Big Mac meal. Are you going to do it? No. Complain. Jesus Louises. It's got to change, guys. It's got to change. That's all for today. Take it easy. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm angry. You should be angry too. Whether you're a driver, whether you're a customer. Food's going up through the roof because of this politician. Okay, what are your thoughts? Leave it down below. That's all for today. Hi, mate. Have you subscribed to Chris yet? Of course I did. The subscribe button is just down there. Did you know he's trying to get to 10,000 subscribers? 10,000? That's 5 times the size of Cuba Petey. Cuba Petey, mate. Cuba bloody Petey, mate. Cuba Petey, mate. Cuba bloody Petey. He's got some more videos over there too. Over where? Just over there. Over here? Yeah, mate, that's them. Cheers, mate. I'll keep watching because there's always something new. And I'll see you in the next one. Hooroo, you legends.